Hi everyone, welcome back to Islam Unbox. Today I have prepared in my hand something that I gathered, some information I gathered regarding the forgotten Islamic colonization of India. So many times people talk about how British so bad, they colonized India, yada yada yada. But not too many people on TV at least and or in radio talk about Islamic invasion of India that lasted for like 1,000 years. Now, let's start. This is gonna be a little long. I made it like uh, I tried to make it shorter. I only took some important information, I think. Anyway, let's start. In year 711, Muhammad bin Qasim captured Sindh in Hindustan, in the old India. He was the first Muslim general to capture Hindu land. In year 1001, I skipped almost like 300 years there. But it doesn't mean there's nothing going on during that 300 years. The Muslims keep raiding into Indian territories. They did raid so many every year. Now, in year 1001, Mahmud of Ghazni, the founder of Turkic Ghaznavid Empire, invaded modern-day Pakistan. He also conquered Punjab. Mathura was the richest city in Uttar Pradesh, northern India, was also ransacked. All gold and silver melted for booty. The city was burned down. All idols, all idols were destroyed during period of 20 days. In year 1024, he desecrated Somnath temple in Gujarat. And in the following year, he attacked Gujarat and he took away 2 million dinars. How much is that? If we take the dinars as Kuwaiti dinars, so it's about 6.5 million US dollars today. The numbers doesn't seem much, but don't forget this year 1025. Nagarkot was a kingdom near Kathmandu, Nepal, was also conquered. In year 1192, Muhammad of Ghor of present-day Afghanistan took over Delhi, and in year 1196, the largest state of India fell under his control, Delhi Doab. Delhi Doab is a union territory of India, which containing New Delhi. He desecrated Hindu pilgrim center, plundered royal treasure after a general massacre of the populace. The Buddhist city of Sarnath was also sacked. Muhammad Ghor of Ghor used to purchase slaves. He raised them with affection and treated them as his sons and successors. After his assassination, surprisingly by Sufi, because he killed many of them too. He didn't only kill the Hindus, but also the Sufis. And he was a Sunni. So he was assassinated by them, by the Sufi, and he was replaced by Qutb Uddin Aibak, one of the slaves he purchased. Aibak started Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk means slaves. Delhi Sultanate was ruled by several Turco-Afghan dynasties since then, such as Khalji, Tughlaq, Sayyid, and Lodi. Now, Tamerlane or Timur the Lame crossed Indus River at Atik, now Pakistan, and each of his soldiers killed between 50 to 100 Hindus in Haryana, northern India. So imagine if he brought with him 100,000 soldiers, each of them killed 50 to 100. Imagine that's between 5 to 10 million of Hindus killed. Before the Bath of Delhi, Timur executed more than 100,000 Hindu captives. Timur took over Delhi from another Muslim sultan on the pretext that Sultan Mahmud was too tolerant towards its Hindu subject. Timur granted amnesty in return for protection money, aka jizya, on December 18th, 1398. But on the fourth day, he ordered that all people of the city be enslaved. And not too long after that, on December 29th, the same year, 1398, he gathered what he called faithless Hindus in the congregation mosque in Old Delhi and slaughtered them. During 15 days of slaughter, he excluded the ulama and other Muslims, of course. When he left in January 1399, 90 elephants were used to carry precious stones looted from Delhi. Several sultans ruled some regions in India for a couple of hundred years, from the late 15th century to early 17th century. And Mughal Empire emerged in year 1526, founded by Babur. And under Akbar, Mughal was more tolerant. I think that's the only time, because Akbar was not Emperor Akbar was not a true Muslim. I believe he was some sort of mixed Hindu and Muslim, so that's why he is also built. Some people say he also built Hindu temples. Now, but when Mughal Empire was under Aurangzeb, who was a pious Muslim, the persecution of non-Muslim continued. Jizya was reinstated. A Sikh guru named Arjan was executed under his order. And that was one of the first conflicts between Muslims and Sikhs. Now, these Muslim rulers did not only kill Hindus, but they also attacking each other. A Muslim emperor would just go attack another one just to take over the territory. And sometimes in the battle, they also recruit Hindus. So that way, not only the Muslims died, also Hindus a lot of times. Now, under the Mughal or these people, actually India was ruled by foreigners, Persians, Afghans, the Arabs, except under the Sultanate, which was called Deccan Sultanate. They were the locals, Indians. Meanwhile, nevertheless, they're all converting many Hindus to Islam by force. Meanwhile, the British was already trading with Indians since 1605, and some sources say 1608. But they did not rule India until 1757, after the Battle of Plassey. 3,000 British soldiers against 50,000 Indians and their French allies. So the Indians took French as their allies to fight the British. That's how they divide the Europeans and pits them against each other. Anyway, the British won. And in the beginning, before that year, the British they only care about trading. Silk, cotton, opium, tea. But after that, the Battle of Plassey, I think the British changed. Now, they take the their military came to India more and more, and they took over land piece by piece. As the British power and presence grew in India, the Mughal is declining. It took about 150 years for Mughal Empire to dissolve. In 1858, a former Mughal province was taken by British East India Company, which marked the beginning of British colonial era in India. So it's 58. The British left India in 1947. They colonized India for less than 90 years. That's the more accurate number. Now the question is, how many Hindus were killed during Muslim conquest of India, during Islamic colonization of India? The numbers varies. From what I read, it's between 280 million to 400 million Hindus were killed during that 1,000 years. So it's about 280,000 per year to 400,000 per year. But remember, Timur the Lame killed 100,000 Hindu prisoners. So to kill 280,000 Hindus per year is not that hard for the Mughals or for the Muslims, colonial, because they are so powerful. And the Hindus, I mean the Indians, they were divided because the old Indians are like the old India is like Chinese, the same like the China. They were divided into several states, and they're not necessarily friends with each other. And sometimes some of the Muslim rulers, they divide. I mean they use this, and they befriend one to fight the other one. So that's how they can colonize India very easily. They divide and conquer. Now, over 1,000 years of invasion. I mean, is this number accurate? I don't know for sure, actually. That's what I read. But is it possible? It is very possible. So now, if you sometimes you see on TV or you read something about the clash between Hindus and Muslims in India, it is not surprising because of the depth of hate between them. It's already carved for such a long time, over 1,000 years ago. And it is not easy, it's not easy to be forgotten. And the Hindus will never forget. They're like elephants, they don't forget. Anyway, so this is a brief history of Islamic invasion or Islamic colonization of India. Thank you for listening and watching, whether you're a Muslim or a Hindu. God bless you all. Have a nice life.